Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Free Press Journal. I'm Vijayalakshmi Narayanan, and I am joined by the songstress of the moment because they take any music album these days, and she is just trending all over the place, all over the charts. कभी ये ठुमके लगाने पे मजबूर कर देती है, तो कभी नदियों पार जाके you know खतरों के खिलाड़ी में झंडे गाड़ के आती है. But Rashmeet Kaur, welcome. I've
And
I've always known you off the record, but it is so wonderful to be sitting down, and having a chat with you. How are you doing, firstly?
I'm doing well, very well. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the lovely introduction. And yeah, I'm looking forward. We always keep meeting here and there, and this is the first time we're meeting like this,
Yeah.
where you get to ask me a lot of questions and where I get to tell you a lot about me. So I'm excited. Let's go.
Well, first things first, like I mentioned, नदियों पार जाके आप झंडे गाड़ रही है. You're challenging yourself in खतरों के खिलाड़ी. So first things first, because that's the big, talking point right now in your career. How was the experience, Rashmeet, and why was this something that you wanted to venture into? Was it A, you wanted to test your limits as an individual, and B, how was the experience in general? Because I'm sure it must have been exciting as well as quite daunting and overwhelming in a way.
Absolutely. I think being an artist, it's always the life of an artist is full of risk and challenges, right? I mean, if you're an artist, then you should always be up for taking up challenges and risking your life. Not life in terms of like life, but I actually risked my life by doing Khatron Ke Khiladi because it was actually very challenging and overwhelming, and I got to test a lot of my sides, not just physical, but mental, but like how I can overcome my fears. So it was like really a different opportunity for me, and I'm so blessed and I feel so grateful for this opportunity because there's this adventurous side that people don't know, like really know about me. Adventurous side of me, like I keep doing yoga, gymnastics, I keep learning because I'm a fitness freak. I really believe in fitness, but I really believe in living your lifestyle in the best way possible, like according to your range and your comfort. Not comfort, but sometimes out of the comfort zone. And artist life is all about being out of the comfort zone and doing things differently, taking different routes and different patterns, breaking the patterns. So I think this was one of the breaking the pattern moment for me.
So, how was the experience of interacting with somebody like Rohit Shetty, who is not just one of the biggest directors that we have in the film industry? He's also somebody for whom action is a very integral part of his movies. So, when somebody like him gets to host a show like Khatron Ke Khiladi, it becomes very imperative, to sort of prove your potential, or it sort of becomes very important for you to gauge his attention in a way. So, how was that experience, Rashmeet? How important was it for you to gain his nod of approval in a way?
I think it was one of the most important things. I think one of the most important things for me to gauge his sort of attention, and also proving myself by doing stunts well, performing well in the stunts. That has been my motto ever since I took this, opportunity, took Khatron Ke Khiladi, that I want to do it. So because Rohit Shetty is a veteran, like when it comes to directing and acting or doing stunts, he has performed a lot of stunts. He made people do a lot of stunts. So I think proving myself, I think it was just in my mind to prove myself as a strong contender by performing my stunts better, and not just performing them, but like acing them. So just like for you, I'm sharing this with you that I've been his one of the favorite contestants of his, and that's been my highlight every time I do a stunt, and then his appreciation meant a lot to me. And actually, it was a highlight of the episode for me, of the day, that when I do a stunt, I perform a stunt, and afterwards I get like a proud of you from him, and because he's been like there for a long time, and getting an actual recognition and appreciation from a person like that definitely means the world to me. And he's been doing Khatron for the longest time. Like, it's been 7-8 years for him. So I think definitely it was on my mind. I mean, it was one of the most important things on top of my list, that I want to impress him. And not by my chit chat or by my singing or by my any other thing, but I want to perform stunts, because that's what is the actual the show is all about that.
If when you look at yourself as as a creative professional, I believe you started as part of a reality show where you were mentored by Nuclear and Sunidhi Chauhan, and now you have reached this far where you are again a participant in another reality show, but in a different context. Between the two reality shows, you have seen a very sweet evolution for yourself, where you have really come into your own as an artist. You have worked alongside some amazing music directors, and you have released music independently also. You have found your voice, and you have found you have found your identity. How do you view your journey in retrospect?
I won't call it a sweet evolution, that's a nice way to put it, but I would call it immense growth. The kind of growth that I've seen in this period of time, me spending 8 years in Mumbai, moving here from Delhi, knowing nothing, no relatives, no connections, nobody knows me, and then sort of establishing myself slowly in the field of music industry, and making connections with my actual talent, working on myself every day, improving myself as a human being, and as an artist as well, at the same time, simultaneously. So I think that's very important, that you constantly keep a check on yourself as an artist and as a human being, because people don't people just like, they get an opportunity and then they let it go, like they loosen themselves. They're like, okay, एक आ गया देख लेंगे, अब कोई अगला आएगा तो देखेंगे. But what matters the most is the time in between, In the meantime, what are you doing? Like, how are you working on yourself? How are you constantly growing? How are you constantly learning? So I think two most important factors for me have been like, I'm a sucker when it comes to learning things, So I'm constantly learning. चलो हो गया, अभी मैंने क्लासिकल किया, 7 साल मैंने दिल्ली में रह के क्लासिकल सीखा है. What else? You know how music is. Music is an ocean, right? Music is endless. Any art form is endless. So there's like, possibilities are endless when there's no spectrum that it lies in. There's no range. It's just everywhere. You can learn every second, and you can grow every second. So I think that has been my sort of formula, you can say, that I want to constantly keep on working on myself, whether it's a music reality show or an adventure reality show, or maybe dance, or maybe like working on my body, anything. It can be anything. So yeah, I've seen an immense growth, and my journey, and definitely collaborating with multiple number of artists and learning from them has been a main integral part of it. It's not about the destination for me. I mean, destination definitely matters, but destination to बढ़ती जाएगी ना, bro. Yes. I mean, it's never gonna stop.
Yeah.
So every time I take a project, I collaborate with somebody, I'm done. Like, एक दिन मैंने एक गाना record किया, instantly I think about what's next. Like, I did Khatron, but I'm not depending on the kind of PR. I'm being very honest and open with you right now.
Okay.
I'm not depending on Khatron Ke Khiladi will give me some crazy popularity or anything. Because if I get into that, then I'll expect a lot. And if I start expecting, then I'll sort of put my energy into something that I don't want to. I don't want to drain myself by thinking like कितने views आ रहे हैं, या कितने लोग देख रहे हैं, या कितने लोग मेरी तारीफ कर रहे हैं या नहीं. Oh my God, मैंने तो इतना अच्छा perform किया but किसी ने देखा नहीं. So rather than spending my energy on that, rather than thinking about all those things, I would rather pay my attention to what's next. Okay, अभी ये हो गया. तो अब मैं क्या करूं? Now what's next? After this, people will always keep asking, अच्छा अगला गाना कब आएगा? You know how you release one song and you'll see at the same time people next day only people comment like, अरे अगला गाना कब आएगा?
But see, I understand, Rashmeet, when you say that you're not looking for any sort of external leverage, while you participate in a show. I mean, you're not looking at cashing upon anything in any way. But it cannot be denied that I mean, as an immediate expectation, as an immediate gratification, as an artist especially who has come so far all on her own terms, somewhere it will feel imperative, or somewhere it will feel a little necessary in a way. There will be a sense of urgency where you feel like, oh, I mean, the more attention I get as an entity, it'll just help in, it'll translate somewhere into more viewership or more listenership to what I do as a creative professional at the end of the day. Do you think that's a fair point?
Definitely. I mean, it's important. I'm not saying that I'm totally neglecting it, that I don't want to. Now I've done Khatron, so I'm like not paying attention. I definitely am looking forward for people's reactions, that what they want to say, because I performed so well in it. But at the same time, I'm not putting all my energy in it, because I'm constantly working on a lot of things on the side, like not on the side, but like as my main projects. I'm working on one of the biggest projects of my life right now, which is related to music. So definitely I want to give like sort of, if you say 10%, I give 20%, I pay attention to Khatron Ke Khiladi, because it's done now. Now I know what I've done in my journey, right? Now it's up to people how they take it, how they receive it, what they how they judge it, how they judge me on the basis of whatever I've done in the show. But I'm saying that music has been the top priority for me forever, and it's not going to change. I mean, I definitely want to be, I'm an aspiring actor now after all this, but I also want to get into the acting field as well. But music is something that is just me, like it's me.
Do you remember that one outstanding task in the entire time, in your entire duration that you spent on KKK? Do you remember that one task that in your head, or when you first saw it being demonstrated before you were like, oh hell, I don't think so I can do it, but when you finally nailed it, you felt like, yes, I have conquered everything. Now it's I am invincible over here.
One stunt, and actually after that one stunt, followed by a lot of stunts, which has been my main strength and which gave me sort of accomplishment wala feeling, and that yes, I've achieved something, was a height stunt that I performed, जो अब आपको देखने को मिलेगा in maybe episode 3 or 4, you'll get to see it. It's a height stunt, and I never knew that I had it in me. And obviously, I mean, we don't live a life like that, right? It's an extreme kind of show. We don't sleep on top floor of the building, edge of the building, and we don't do
such. Are you scared of heights in general? Like, do heights petrify you?
I see, when it comes to extreme, everything petrifies you, right? Extreme of water, extreme of heights, extreme of animals, extreme of creepy crawlies, and extreme of current. Obviously, shock is shocking. Shock will obviously petrify you. But that height stunt, when I started doing the height stunt, I think I sort of started proving myself as a strong, I mean, it came out as Rashmeet is a strong contender because she can perform well when it comes to height stunts. The first height stunt that I did, I put in all my efforts. First of all, I don't think like I can't do it. The whole mindset from the starting point matters for me. That's how I approach a certain opportunity that comes my way, that you can't say no. And you, not even for a fraction of a second, you think in your mind that you can't do it. If you bring that thought, वहीं पे वो कुछ भी हो सकता है, flip हो जाता है. So the moment you get it, yes, I am going to do it. And then I think Rohit Shetty, the kind of person he is, he motivates a lot. and his motivation kept us going, and his one voice, it mattered a lot on the show. I never thought that, you know, it's gonna drive me, and it's gonna help me completing my stunt, or like it's gonna help me, it'll push me that much, but it pushed us, and especially me, a lot. So yeah, those height stunts, I kept doing and then kept acing, and then Rohit Shetty started calling me, आप सर्कस से आए हो क्या, आप मेले में ऐसे चलते हो क्या रस्सी पे? What were you working in a circus before this? What happened? How are you doing all this? So I think that confidence, staying confident, not overconfident, because obviously overconfidence कहाँ से आएगा जब मैंने कुछ करा ही नहीं ऐसा जिंदगी में. Yes, obviously I will tell you what helped me. One thing that I regularly practice is climbing trees, you know, and working out in a park, in a garden, rather than working out in a closed gym, or you know, like a that kind of space, which after a point it makes me feel claustrophobic. So I prefer working out outside, you know, with nature. So I used to climb a lot of trees, and that definitely strengthens your core and your brain, the sort of accomplishment wala feeling that you get once you climb the tree, once you're on the top of the tree. So I think that feeling I was craving for throughout the show, and I kept getting with every stunt that I did. Yeah.
Well, as they say, 50% hard luck and skill, and the rest is divine intervention. But thank you so much, Rashmi, for taking the time out to talk to us on the Free Press Journal, Onwards and Upwards. And may you keep conquering. And as you rightly said, man jeete jo jag jeete. But all the very best, Rashmi.